People who cannot read and write have one thing in common, a feeling of being alone. Do you feel like you're trapped in your own little world and that everybody around you can read and write? Do you feel ashamed and see yourself as not being as good as others? People who can't read and write also share another common feeling, and that is a feeling of fear. It's a fear that makes your body shiver, a fear that one day someone will discover you can't read or write. There is another feeling shared by people who cannot read or write, a feeling of hopelessness, and there's nowhere to turn for help. The people you are about to meet once thought they could never return to school. They felt it was almost impossible to walk through the doors of a literacy center and to ask for help. They feared they would be the only students in class who couldn't read or write. But as you will see, returning to school isn't as hard as you might think. In fact, it's as easy as literacy. 1, 2, 3. The return.
It was harder for me to come in here and to admit that I couldn't read or write than it was for me to admit that I was an alcoholic.
Oh, I was very nervous indeed. I was very nervous about going back to school or not knowing if I would fit in with the students that was there or what was expected of me, and all of these things sort of go through your mind. You're wondering.
No, I figured I'd be out of here in a week or two. But when I started learning, it felt so good to me that there's no words can express it. I would feel it to me.
Well, basically the reason I came back was because I got sick of the social services scene, and to be honest with you. I mean, you go to work for a few months, you're on unemployment for a few months, then you go and you're back on social services again. I mean, it just becomes a constant cycle, and you just have to break that cycle sometime in your life.
I had my mind made up. When I went in the school the first day, I had my mind made up I was going to do it. I was planning on, I said I had to do it, that was it. Just for my kids, my wife and myself.
When I was 13 years old, I wouldn't do nothing in school. I wouldn't learn anything, so I made up my mind that I'd do it on my own, so I left. She used to have a lady teacher come to, we'd figure we'd get the upper hand if we just get up, and that was it. She was gone within a month or two anyway. I remember one time I went to a store, I went for a can of corned beef hash. And I went and I picked up a tin of dye for it, and if I wouldn't have seen the picture of that dye on it, I would have took it home, But I seen the picture of dye on it, then I knew it wasn't corned beef hash, so I took it back, And then I had to go and ask the clerk to get me a tin of corned beef hash, which was really hard too,
Actually, I felt I didn't belong to society. You feel, well, I am like this. I'm illiterate. I can't read, I can't write. I don't belong to those people. You're never too old to go back to school. Indeed not. I went back to school after being out for 45 years. I always wanted to participate in a choir. I always wanted to be in a choir. This was my goal.
I mean, I had little kids come up to me, some in my family, and ask me what in their book, and ask me what a word is, and what do it mean, and I just had to try to ignore them little kids and just tell them go and ask someone else, right? I never ever signed a check since I'd been home up to work. I got someone else signing for me after I got married when my wife took it over, right?
I'm not ashamed of who I am or where I'm going, because I had to leave school. I mean, I had a small child. I was young, but we all make mistakes, and hopefully we can learn from our mistakes. But, I mean, I was really intimidated when I started here, because, like I say, I didn't know exactly what I was in for, and I thought, coming here, there's people here that are going to think they're better than I am, and, that I'm, a nobody or whatever. But it's not like that.
Like, I used to read the nighttime storybooks to my young fella, And I used to read stuff wasn't there. Afterwards, so many nights went on, he caught on to it. And he used to say, Daddy, that's not there. I said, oh yes, son, it's there. No, he said, Daddy, that's not there. That's the same story you told me last night. That's a different book, right? He said, Daddy, that's not there. And my wife used to plan it off for me, and she used to say, yes, that's there. No, he said, Mom. He said, Daddy, read another book to me last night. He said, the two books not the same. The wife sent me to the store one day and pick up the birthday card for her father. So I went up, I think it was a birthday card, I took it up and tried to read it, brought it home, and the wife said, my God, Dave, I said, why you brought it here? I said, he's not dead, I only want a birthday card. I said, why is a birthday card? No, she said, it's a sympathy card. I feel really bad, right?
The program.
When I got in here, they put me into a classroom right on the other end there. And there was people that I taught could read and write. You know? I thought they were well up grade 10, 11, 12, whatever, you know, they were just back. But when I went in there and they told me they couldn't read and write, well, I said, my Jesus, you know, I'm not the only one.
Tutors are one-on-one especially. It's great because your fear is down. You got no fear of someone else being right there then with you until you get confidence built up. You get confidence in yourself, and then you feel good about yourself.
I never got through it wouldn't for my wife and son and the helping the teachers there. I mean, many times I was going to throw it all in and give it up and go on back home, but I was only going back to the same life I left.
There's no pressure, you know. You can take your time and you're in a relaxed environment and everybody is here for you to help you out, right? You know, now that I am back and seeing that, you know, how good it is here, and like the teachers and the students, everybody is, you know, a really big help to you.
It's like everything. He takes a new job, the first week or so it can be hard, right? Until you get used to it. And like, same thing when I went back to school. The first week or two, like getting into it, because the teachers used to, they couldn't put me on like big books or nothing. They just put me on like comic books, story books and all that. And that's what I learned from.
And I'm a whole new person. I'm here because I want to be here, not because somebody else wants me here. And I didn't give up drinking because somebody else wanted me to give up drinking or anything. I gave up that. Well, I never gave it up. I take them one day at a time, put it that way. You know, because I want to be that far from a drunk. But I'm not that far from quitting school here. But I know what happened if I go back onto the booze, then this won't mean a goddamn thing to me, same as I was years ago when I was 13 years old. Like I said, take my takes. I don't need, well, I need it, but I need my education too. What I should have had. I look back over my years now, buddy. I wish that I went to school instead of went fishing. I tell you that. There's people in there that's very, very important to me. They don't mind. Like if I go and ask them for something, like a bit of help with my books or anything, they're right there for me.
You're given a certain amount of studies of different subjects, and if you feel like you can't do it, that's fine. You don't have to. You just do your work and do what you can according to your will and what you think you can do. A tutor is someone that you look to. Someone is there to help you, and you know that, and so therefore you depend right on her, so everything is just wonderful.
Sometimes I could say it was a F and it could have been a G. It was really embarrassing, you know, to be able to go through life like that. But it started to come together for me, and I'm starting to learn to read and write, and I'm enjoying it. They were more like family to me than anything else. After I got to know them and see what they were doing for me, it means more to me than life itself. It puts really on unreal. I never ever thought that I could meet such a nice people that's willing to help you to go through life and get some education.
You can take your time and really, get ready and prepare yourself for the work. They tell you here, if you're not ready to write a test, if you're not 100% sure that you know enough to give you a good mark, then you take your time and you do it. The instructors, they are like your friends. I mean, you can carry on with them, you can laugh with them, you can say almost anything to them. They treat us all alike. They don't treat any one person different. I mean, no matter if you come from, we got people here from social services, we got people here from CERC, and we got people here that are going through it on their own. But they treat us all as one.
Yes, I do. I really, really enjoy studying. And the more reading I got in, the better I feel. Right? If you don't know how to read, you can't do nothing.
The goal.
But now I can go to the store, take my grocery note, go to the store, and I can read off my grocery note and I can pick up my groceries.
The overwhelming happiness that I felt, I think, was more than someone else would feel after receiving high school diploma or a college diploma. It meant that much to me.
Yeah, I did really think that I was stupid for a while, but not anymore, because I'm learning. I'm learning how to read and write, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, you do. You have to be 100% committed to it, not 50, 60, 70. You've got to be 100% committed to it, because if you're not, it's not going to work.
Like you're in another world. Come in and say the signs, you know all the signs, and anything you want to know, you just look for something, you find it. It's really, really good, right?
But coming back in school, I don't think any people think any less of them or anything like that. I know people don't think any less of me. I think they think more of me now that I had courage and guts enough to come back in school. Yeah, my goal is right now is to get enough education to hold on to the job that I got. I have a good job if I can only get to, well, I guess I'm going to need probably 8 or 9 in order to hold on to it. I got a long ways to go before I get there, but hopefully that I will be getting there.
When you can sing them, when you know how to sing them, or how to read them, I should say, then all hymns are wonderful. I'm in a world among many friends and wonderful people. It's altogether different from what it was before.
I'm doing something that can help them too, and especially my son, because he's going through life, trying to get education. There's times that he wouldn't go out with his friends because always only want to help me with my work, right? It feels like you're somebody. It feels like you're in with the other crowd, that with education you can succeed something with them, you can understand them better, and you feel like you're part of them now. That was the biggest challenge of walking through the doors.
I want to make a life for myself and my son, something that he can be proud of. It's a whole different ball game when you can get up and go out into the real world. I enjoy meeting the different people that you meet on the bus. Finally, I have succeeded. I've finally done it.
So now if I go to a store for a birthday card or a sympathy card, well, I know what I'm picking up. Fire Chief of Tiernsville, volunteer fire department. Anything goes on there, I deal with it. I have my EMA, and I'll be making pretty good money. And my goal is now going up to me level 3 in my ambulance course.
Lilia Moore's instructor.
We don't stand in front of a chalkboard and teach. It's all one-on-one instruction. Everybody's program is set individually for them. Sometimes it happens in such a way that they don't even realize that they've learned so much. And then all of a sudden they pick up a magazine or they see something on a table or they're driving somewhere and they realize, gosh, I read that. How did that happen? I didn't realize I could read that well. I see myself as being the first person that anybody who finally gets the nerve to come back to school, the first person that they're going to meet. Usually before they leave, I've got them wanting to come back. Can't wait for Monday morning to come so they can start their program. They find it a big step to admit to me or anybody else, and I'm probably the first person they admit to, that they can't read. We've had people that have come here as non-readers and they've gone on to different trades, and then they come back to us and they always say that without us they probably wouldn't have gotten where they are.
The people you have just seen took the first step and returned to school. They had to admit to themselves and to others that they couldn't read or write. It isn't easy, but neither is living a lie. The only difference between you and an ability to read and write is you. I should know, because I'm an ABE student.